this time we are doing Fury Warrior. Specifically, I'm doing one-handed Fury Warrior build. Looking here at the Dragonflight Prepatch. Our tank's overgeared as hell. Well, maybe not as hell, but definitely overgeared by a good margin. So he's going to be doing a lot of damage, but I think we'll still be able to get a good look at how the Fury Warrior I guess the tank must have got hit by the disorient thing. So I'm playing the one-handed version of the Fury Warrior. Also, before I forget, I wanted to mention this early on, which I forgot to in the last video, is I'm playing without using Covenant abilities or any conduits. No conduits, no legendaries, no set bonuses. Because what I care about is how's this class going to be playing in pummeled at the wrong timing. So yeah, I care about how's this class going to be playing in Dragonflight. Not worried about getting the most damage in Shadowlands per se. So yeah, historically the ever since they made the Fury Warrior able to dual wield two-handed weapons, that's basically always been better. But there's a talent right now over here for if you're dual wielding one-handed weapons, you get some damage bonus. So I'm hoping that they're actually working on making one-handed Fury Warrior playstyle play just like be competitive on DPS essentially, because I prefer the one-handed Fury Warrior playstyle of just being able to mash buttons like crazy. So yeah, we'll look at my talent choices in a second here, but basically this is should have probably saved my cooldown for the second part of the fight here, but oh well. The main idea of the build is spam Raging Blow for our rage generation. So if we look at the talents here, already have it highlighted. I've got pretty much all the Raging Blow talents, which is stuff where it generates more rage, it's got more charges, it has a chance to reset its own cooldown. There's a one where Rampage has a chance to give you more charges of Raging Blow. So that's the main thing for this. And as you saw, most of those talents are on the right side of the tree here. There's a you can focus more on bloodthirst by going on getting a few talents that are on the left side of the tree. But I'm on the raging blow here, so you'll see I'm using tons of raging blows, and then if I run out of charges for that, then I use the bloodthirst. And of course, we've got talents for execute to damn it. I was hoping they would not need me to figure this out.
No fooling you.
3 leaves. So, and then the other thing I'm doing is have the talent where recklessness cooldown is lowered when you spend rage. So basically you use recklessness every pull. What do we got? 3 lines and a solid.
Almost there.
So yeah, every time I'm using Rampage, the rage spending ability, the recklessness cooldown goes down 4 seconds. So to get the most out of that talent, of course, you're pretty much using recklessness on cooldown. Sorry. 3 leaves and a flower.
You did it. Good guess.
So yeah, we use it at the start of the fight here. It won't take us very long to kill this thing, but you'll see how much the cooldown it's lowered. Would have been nice if it survived a little longer, and also if it didn't jump away when
You did it. Good guess.
Let's go. So yeah, if you're not familiar with the existing playstyle of Fury, the way you deal AoE damage is you whirlwind, and the whirlwind causes your single target abilities to hit I think it's 4 extra targets, up to 4 extra targets. Yeah. So please figure it out.
Hooray! You're almost there.
So yeah, with the talents for that, that'll happen for 4 single target abilities. So you do 1 whirlwind and then 4 single target abilities. Obviously we're on a single target fight now, so we don't care about that.
One of us is neglected.
So basically, we're gonna use Rampage to spend our rage whenever we have enough rage. And then after that, we use Execute if we can. Otherwise, we spam Raging Blow. And if Raging Blow's on cooldown also, what do we get? If Raging Blows on cooldown also, that's when you Bloodthirst. And then if you get in a situation where that's on cooldown also, then the Fury Warrior gets to use Whirlwind in single target, because for the Fury Warrior, the Whirlwind costs no rage. It's a rage generator instead of a rage spender. So, yeah. This build in particular, though, is
The Gorm beast. Balance must be restored.
pretty much about having a simple damage rotation. And yeah, you do pretty good damage with it. Or at least it feels like you do pretty good damage with it. It's up to Blizzard, of course, to make sure the thing's balanced. Which historically they're not very good at. But yeah, definitely feels good to play. And I've been trying to play as many of the different specs for all the characters as possible, so I haven't spent a lot of time testing any specific build. But this is definitely one of the ones that seems like I'm performing pretty well. Like every time when I'm comparing myself on the damage meters to other players with similar levels of gear, Fury Warrior does pretty well. The best classes have been, I think, like the Windwalker Monk and the Demon Hunter, Havoc Demon Hunter, the DPS deck. heroic leaped a little far there. Oops, I forgot to...
I can predict your every move. Your ignorance made manifest. My progeny shall say I can predict your every movement. Exquisite knowledge.
Alright, now that I am less focused on doing all the damage, damn it, I don't want to fight this guy yet. Hope he stops bothering me. Please go away, thank you. Alright. So, as you can see from the damage I did, tons of rampage, tons of raging blow, some execute, some whirlwind, some other stuff. Less important. Very little bloodthirst. Yeah. So, very simple. Like I said, we're spec'd heavily into doing Raging Blow, and also to have this talent here, after Recklessness, is every 20 rage you spend, reduces the remaining cooldown of Recklessness by 1 second. So, Odin's Fury is similar to Thunderous Roar, where it's damage plus a damage over time thing. That's not important for the build. You could definitely put this point somewhere else. I just took it because also you could have another point down here in the bottom of the tree somewhere if you wanted. But currently to get all the talents up here that I wanted, felt more important than getting another point in the bottom of the tree somewhere. So that's how the talents are for now. But as you saw, Odin's Fury is came out to be 4.5% of my total damage in the dungeon, which is not very much. Maybe with some of these other talents it could be more impactful, but as it is kind of underwhelming, you could definitely try like Recklessness lasts 4 seconds longer, or Rampage has a 20% chance to grant Recklessness for 4 seconds. Those are probably good too. I just like having a some kind of burst AoE damage, because I went over here, I went with Avatar, and I didn't go for the Thunderous Roar or the Spear of Bastion like I did on Arms, so for Arms I had lots of burst AoE, not so much on the Fury Warrior. Yeah, all the stuff up here is you look through this stuff, it's there's a lot of utility kind of stuff that I'm not getting. Fury Warrior cannot get rend. There just is no rend anywhere for Fury Warrior. So the talent that Thunderclap applies rend, essentially, it's sorry, it's if you have rend, it'll apply rend. To 5 targets. So this talent is no good for the Fury War, and because of that, Thunderclap is no good for the Fury War, because it costs rage, and you want to spend all your rage on Rampage, which is 80 rage, because that enrages you and gives you high uptime for the enrage, which is your mastery, which in my case 31% damage whenever you're enraged. So that's one of the benefits of the one-handed Fury Warrior, is you generate rage faster, which means you rampage more, basically. And because you're rampaging more, you have higher uptime of that enrage buff of 31% damage. So if we look at ours here, we see enrage I had up 67% of the time. I have that 31% damage bonus. So yeah, mastery works out to be a pretty good stat. It's one of those ones that kind of scales better as you have higher gear, though. With my current level of gear, it's not that great, but with more gear, then you have like more haste and crit strike also type of thing, where you're generating rage faster, so that you're using rampage faster, or using rampage more often, so that you're having that enrage buff up a higher percent of the time than you already do. So all about keeping that enrage bonus up and just unleashing hell upon the enemies. So yeah, lots of fun. Let's see, anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, I went with Avatar here. I don't think that's really important. You could definitely get these other ones. Avatar is probably the best, though, for single target. That's why I chose it. But you could probably get like the Thunderous Roar and or Spear of Bastion, just like I did with Arms Warrior, and you'd be just fine. I don't like the talents down here where Avatar or Recklessness cast the other one at reduced effectiveness, because I tried it, and Recklessness only gives you 4 seconds of Avatar. So it's only 4 seconds of 20% increased damage. And then I think it was the same the other way around. 4 seconds of Recklessness when you cast Avatar. Because it seemed like it would be really good with my talent that reduces the cooldown of Recklessness. So I'd be casting lots of Recklessness, which means I'm getting lots of free Avatar time, but since it's only 4 seconds, it didn't seem very good to me. So that's why I went with these other talents instead of getting that one down there. There's also the one Avatar casts Odin's Fury, and Odin's Fury casts Avatar. reduced effectiveness. I don't think that works out to be that great, but I could be wrong. I forgot. So Odin's Fury isn't as much damage as these other ones, but it's also only a 45-second cooldown, so it actually does work out to be pretty good. But ultimately, yeah, the build is mainly about recklessness, and then just using your main damage rotation buttons as much as possible. So, like I mentioned earlier, it's a single target. You probably don't want to instantly recklessness like I just did. You probably want to get a little bit of rage first and then recklessness. But yeah, single target, fairly straightforward. Rotation, and then we'll go back to somewhere where there's multiple guys. Here's a good spot, and like I said before, we're gonna be using whirlwind, and then and then 4 single target abilities, so that those single target abilities hit additional targets. So charge in here, a whirlwind, we're gonna use that. Let's use our recklessness. We got shit, and then it's these guys are actually doing kind of a lot of damage. So yeah. Am I gonna die? Not even close. Yeah, things got a little hairy there. But this isn't really a area you're supposed to solo anyways. Especially not with this level of gear. Well, also there's an item on the ground around somewhere. Multiple areas. Let me see if I can find one. Specifically just this area. The item that gives you a bunch of leech. I'm not seeing it. I think it was like a flower or something. It's a small little glowy thing on the ground. And it makes this area a lot more soloable. But you're really just there's a group world quest already completed. But yeah, you're supposed to just do this area as a group, and then it's not only is it a lot easier, but it's also you'll just complete the quest a lot faster, because it doesn't like being in the group doesn't like decrease your completion percentage. Everybody gets like full credit basically, so it's kind of dumb that you can't do it solo. I'm not seeing the item on the ground. Maybe it's only when I'm when I have the world quest. So maybe because I completed it, no longer visible to me. But yeah. Was that it? Sanguine Rose. There it is. I guess it's just wasn't glowing like I said earlier. So it leech. It gave me like 30% leech or something. So yeah, it gives you a ton more survivability for this world quest. But yeah, we kind of got off track here talking about this leech thing. Yeah. I don't have the fear immunity thing spec right now, so just had to eat that fear. That's up here, Berserker Rage. But yeah. Basically Fury Warrior, one-handed with this Raging Blow build. Feels pretty good. I hope the numbers work out that it's viable. But it definitely feels good. And I haven't tried two-handed very much. I started creating a talent set for two-handed, which is, as you can see, pretty much the same, but without the one-handed the one-handed point. But I think two-handed might be better. I don't know if two-handed might be better on the Bloodthirst version, where Bloodthirst crits will put a bleed on targets. That's a pretty strong thing, and specifically when you're doing two-handed weapons, I'm thinking that will do more damage, but I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong about that part. But I want to try the Bloodthirst side instead of Raging Blow. You'll still need the Whirlwind talents for dungeon stuff, but you'd skip probably most of the Raging Blow talents. So yeah, Raging Blow, Raging Blow, Raging Blow, Raging Blow. You'd probably skip some or all of those to pick up Bloodthirst talents over on the left side of the tree. But yeah, I haven't really played that, so I don't really know how those play out. But I'm happy so far with what I have played for the Fury Warrior. Yeah. In case you didn't watch my Arms Warrior video, I guess I'll talk about real quick all the other stuff on the General Warrior tree. I'm a big fan of you being able to skip things like Intervene and Rallying Cry, and Intimidating Shout and Spell Reflection. Obviously I got a couple of those. But I like that you can essentially opt out of those abilities to be better in other ways. I particularly like all the movement ability that you can pick up now without any real problems. Starting with killing an enemy gives you 30% move speed for 8 seconds. Is great. Heroic Leap. I don't know why anyone would not take that ability. And then you get the passive for Heroic Leap to reduce the cooldown, and it gives you a move speed bonus after you Heroic Leap for a few seconds. And we got the charge, an extra charge of charge, and the cooldown reduction on it. So lots of awesome mobility, which was available to the warrior in the old talent system, but because the talents were like mutually exclusive on each tier type of thing, if you were to take this talent or this talent or this talent on the old system, you're missing out on something else. I think these might have been on the same tier. The Heroic Leap and the Charge one. I can't remember. So you might not have been able to get both of those anyways. But yeah, I love mobility. I love not having to get things like this, which I don't really use. I love being able to get Stormbolt. I think Stormbolt was on the same one as Impending Victory or something. So yeah, however it was exactly before, I don't remember. But yeah, basically you can get lots of cool things and avoid talents that you don't think are very good. So that's what I really like about the new talent trees. I feel like some of the connections on here are like super arbitrary. So there's definitely parts about the talent trees that I'm really not a fan of. The warrior talent tree is probably better than some of the other ones I've seen though. But if we look at an example, let's say over here, the other classes have some talent trees that are a lot worse, so it's not a good example to be looking at a warrior when I'm complaining about this. But let's say you really like this Raging Blow gains extra charge talent. Well, to get this talent, that means you have to get this talent or this talent. So if you didn't like either of these talents, they would feel like a waste of a point. And then if you look at how do you get either of those two talents, well, you have to get this talent, which means if you didn't like this talent, then it would feel like kind of a waste of a point because you're just trying to get this talent down here that you really like. Like I said, for warrior, it's not really a good example, but generally the idea is still there that there's talents which are really good, but to get to them, your options kind of suck. So it feels more like you're wasting points to get to the good talents. Sort of how they did down here, I guess you could say. Like, say you really like Thunderous Roar, and you really like Avatar, and you really like Spirit Bastion. Well, you can't just get all three. You have to spend 2 points here first, and 2 points here first, and 2 points here first. So each of these are sort of like 3-point talents each, if you didn't like their prerequisite ones over here. In this case, though, each of these prerequisites are fairly good. I think strength equal to 10% of your armor is probably the best out of these three in this case, specifically for Fury Warrior. But haste and attack speed are definitely good, because you generate more rage from having higher auto attack speed, and you also get more sidearm procs. Not that sidearm works out to be a lot of damage. It came out to be 3.8% of my damage. So it's not a ton, but there's like synergy between those talents. I don't like sidearm for Arms Warrior. Might be okay on Prot Warrior. I haven't really decided on Prot Warrior. I haven't played too much Prot Warrior. But yeah, it's just the general idea is there may be talents that you really like, but you just have to get other talents that you don't like to get to them. So that's what I don't like about the talent trees. But I definitely think it's improvement over the talent tree. The talent tier thing where you pick one out of 3 on each tier, which they created back in Mist of Pandaria, and we're using that up until Shadowlands. And now that we're at Dragonflight Prepatch, we have a better system, finally. I mean, yeah, definitely better system. It's just so frustrating that they took so fucking long to go back to talent trees. And I definitely could, yeah, still use improvements, but that's how it is. Yeah, I'm starting to ramble too much about things besides the Fury Warrior, so yeah, let's just end the video here. Fury Warrior, one-handed, bridging blow spec, feels good.